Okay guys, the series continues, and in this episode I'm going to show you how to create the endpoint for creating orders. Understand? So in the previous episode we were creating orders from the admin, but right now we are going to create an endpoint for creating these orders. Understand? So let's do that right away. So right now we're going to create our orders based on the cart ID. Understand? We're going to create our orders. Understand? We want to be able to create orders from the front end based on the cart ID. And if we check closely, this is the order serializer. Let me show you the order serializer. The order serializer just simply asks the order, the ID of the order, the time it was placed, the pending status, and the owner, with also the items, right? But right now I want to create our order based on the cart ID. So how do we go about that? That means you're going to create a new serializer. You get? So this is the right way. So I'm going to create a new serializer file now. Okay, so I'm going to say class. I'm going to call it serializer, create order serializer, create order serializer. So this serializer now we are going to simply inherit from the base serializer. That's because we are trying to create our order based on the cart ID, and if you check closely, the cart ID is not part of the fields for the order model. Hope you get. So we can't use this model serializer, so we are going to use the base serializer, and it's like this. We're going to say serializers dot serializer. Understand? So this is what we are going to do here, and now we are going to simply create a field called cart underscore ID. Should be equal to this. So if you check closely, our cart ID is a UUID field. You understand? So I'm going to say should be equal to serializers dot UUID field. UUID field. So that's it now. And once we've done this now, we are going to simply customize the serializer save method. We are going to customize it because we want to perform some logic here, some custom logic by ourselves. So we are going to customize the serializer's save method. You understand? So once we've done this already now, so we need to do one more thing. Now we are going to go down to our view set. So to the order view set. Okay, just here now. So we are going to simply customize our serializer class. We need to customize it. So we are going to come over here and say dev. We're going to say get serializer class. So what is going to happen here is this now. So if it is a post request, we want to return this create order serializer. But if it is a get request, we want to return the order serializer. You get? So just here now, I'm going to just say if self dot request dot method is equal to post. If it is a post request, if it is equal to post, so I'll just simply say return create order serializer, or else we return the order serializer. Return order serializer. Okay, so that's it. And then we need to remove the serializer class up here. We don't need that again. So once we've done this now, what's the next thing for us to do now? So right now we want to simply, let's try something. Let's go down to our browser and let's test this endpoint and see. But before we test this endpoint, we want to print our cart ID. So just come down here and say, we'll just say cart ID should be equal to serializers. So it's going to be equal to self.validated data. So your validated data refers to the field you pass here. These are your validated data. How they mean? These are what we call validated data. The fields you pass in your serializer. For example, this is a field also. Cart ID is also a field. So this is also a validated data. You understand? So once these are the fields we call validated data here. So I want to get the value we're passing for the cart ID. So I'm going to simply just say self.validated data, and I'm going to simply put in cart underscore ID. So now I'm going to simply just say print. Let's just print now and say cart underscore ID. So I think this is it. Once we've done this now, so let's go down to our browser and then go down to 127. What's happening? I'm going to say slash API slash orders here. So right now, currently we are on the orders endpoint. You can see right now we have the orders. That's because the admin is logged in currently. If you scroll down, we have this post form, and right now this is the cart ID we are trying to post, right? So right now let's go create a cart first, so you can pass the ID over here. So let's go create a cart. Okay, so we have a cart over here. Let's just come over here and click on post. We want to create a cart. So a cart has been created. Just copy this ID, Ctrl C, and go back to the API route. So look up this. This is our orders API, our orders endpoint. You come over here, paste this here, just paste, click on post. Oh, it says create must be implemented. What was it trying to say there? Okay, I think I need to remove this return super, I guess. So I think I need to remove that there. So I want to just show you something. So just give me some time. So let's try again. So paste this cart ID there, paste, click on post. Perfect. You can see right now everything is working. We are not done, we are just starting. So if you go down to your, if you go to your terminal, you see we have the cart ID over here. You can see that there. Okay, so what's the next step now? So right now we want to create our orders, right? So we want to create our orders based on the owner field. If you check closely, every order, the order has this field called owner. So how do we get this owner? This owner can be gotten from our view set. So right now I want to get this. I want to get the logged in user. I want to get the ID of the logged in user. So I'm going to come here now. I'm going to simply just say dev. I'm going to say dev get serializer context. Get serializer context. I want to get this logged in user from our view set. Then I'm going to send this logged in user ID to our create order serializer. You understand? And this serializer, and if I get it here, I'm able to create an order based of the logged in user I got from here. You understand? So right now I'll come over here now and just say return user ID, user underscore ID. So I'm gonna say user ID should be, I'm gonna say self.request.user.id. So right now I want to get this user ID from my view set down to my serializer. That's because I can't get this user ID in a serializer, so I have to pass it from the view set to the serializer. So just here I'm going to get that. I'm going to just come here and say user underscore ID should be equal to self.context. Remember, this is coming from the context, from the context in our view set. So I'm going to just come here and say self.context, then the key name, then the name of the key. The key is called user underscore ID. So I'll put that here. Okay, user underscore ID, and after that now I can then create my order. I'll say order should be equal to order dot object dot create, and I'll say owner should be equal, owner underscore ID should be equal to user underscore ID. That's it now. So once we do this again, if I go back there, go back to this endpoint again, and also click on post again, post, I will throw an error, say store app not null constraint. So I think I made a mistake here. Order.object.create owner underscore ID should be equal to user underscore ID. It seems I kind of freeze, it seems there was an error, but I'm not sure why the error is there. Let's print this user ID and be sure that this user ID is actually holding a value. So let's print user ID as well as the, let's say print user underscore ID. So that's it now. So let's go create a new cart and then get the ID of the cart. So come over here, then go down to your cart endpoint. So create a new cart post. So copy this ID. So come over to your order endpoint, then we paste it here, and then we post. Okay, let's see what gives us. So right now we have the cart ID and also the user ID. So everything should work this time. I don't know why it's throwing an error. Or should we just say, okay, let's just say return order. Let's hope everything works. Return order. We are not done yet. We are still creating our orders. We still need to create our order items, but let's continue. Let's try again. I think we need to use a new. Let's try with this same cart ID. Oh wow, this time around I think it works. So let's check. Remember we have 2 orders for Mike from the last episode. So if I click here, I think we should have 3 orders now. Perfect. Now I can see right now we have 3 orders. 3 orders, and this order belongs to Clint, the current logged in user. Hope you get everything. You can see that what we did here. So we have been able to create our order from here. First of all, I had to get my cart ID from the validated data, and then I had to create an order based off the. I had to create an order using this owner field in the order model. And how do I get access to this user? I have to come into my view sets here. I know this view, you must be logged in before you can access this view. Before you can access this view, you must be logged in. So that logged in user, I have to get the ID of that logged in user here, and I passed it to my serializer, and through the context I was able to access the ID, and then I have to create my order based off that ID. Hope you understood. So right now we've been able to create our order. So what's the next step? The next thing now is for us to create our order items for this order. So let's do that right away. Let's do that right now. So now we want to create our order items. We've been able to create orders, right? So it's simple. So now let me show you. So right now I showed you something before. So I told you that the cart item and order item are very similar. They have the same number of fields. Product, quantity. If you come here, product, quantity also. You can see for cart item has the cart. For order item has the order. So it's easy. So let's do that. So now let's do that right now. So right now I want to get all the cart items for this given cart. You understand? Remember this is a cart ID. So I want to get the cart item for this given cart. So now let's do that right away. I'll say cart items should be equal to cart item dot object dot filter. So I'm gonna get dot filter. I will say cart underscore ID dot filter. Let me be sure of the field. Okay, cart underscore ID equal to this cart ID we are getting here. So after we've done this now, cart underscore ID. So now, yeah, once we've done this, what's the next step? So now I'm going to simply. So right now we're going to use a list comprehension now on these cart items. So these are the states now. So you just come here and say, I'll say for item in cart items. Okay, now so what I want to do now is this. Now I want to create our order item from the cart item. That's what I want to do. Remember, I told you before that our cart and cart item are the same thing as the order and order item. The difference is this: the carts can be created without you being signed in, but your orders requires authentication. Once you finish adding to cart and it's time for you to make payments, you are prompted to sign in, and during the sign up process your cart and cart items are converted to your order and order items. Understand? So right now I want to create our order items now. So I'm going to use this list comprehension. So right now I'm looping through these cart items, and as I'm looping through them I want to create my order item, and I'll say order item. Then order item. Now remember, order item has, so what are the fields order item has? Order item has this field called order. So the order is going to be, order should be equal to order. You know we have our order up here, should be equal to order. And then what's the other field again? Product is going to be equal to item dot product. What's the next field again? Next field is going to be, and the last field is called quantity, right? I'm going to just say, put in the comma there, I will say quantity should be equal to item dot quantity. So let's assume, let me just break this to make this more readable. Okay, quantity should fall down to, so I think this is better. Okay, and for item in item, okay, I think this is, let me break this too, calm down here. Okay, what do you guys think? I think it's better this way now. Okay, oh, let me take this guy back up. Let me just Ctrl Z it. Okay, so I think it's better this way now. So right now let's assume we have 3 card items. We're going to have 3, after doing this we're going to have 3 order items instead. So I said, so right now I'm trying to create this order. So now after we've done this, now what's the next step? So let me just assign this. I'll say order items should be equal to this. So now other items should be equal to that. So right now I said other items should be, I tried creating our order for the other item based on this order we have here, and the products, I'm getting the products from this cart item. They said it for the quantity from the cart item. So once we've done this now, the next thing for us to do is this now. So I'm going to just say order item dot bulk. We're going to use the bulk create dot bulk create dot bulk create. Sorry, before I say bulk create, it's meant to be order item dot object dot bulk create. Sorry, dot object dot bulk underscore create, and I'm going to simply pass in these order items. So we're going to just simply create everything at once instead of also, normally we are meant to loop through it and then create one by one, or to save time we can just create everything at once using this bulk create. So that's it now. So we are not done. So once we've created the order, we want to also delete the cart. You understand? That's what we want to do now. So I'll just come here and say cart dot object dot filter. I'll say cart, I'll say id equal to cart underscore id, or I could just say, yeah, that's it, the id is called, yeah, this is the id. Understand? So then say dot delete. Okay, now so I think we're almost done. So right now something is going on here. We are performing 3 database operations here. This is the first one is called, the first one is we tried creating an order up here. This is the first one. The other one is this now. We're creating an order, we are creating order items, and here we are also deleting a given cart after an order and its order item has been created. So these are 3 solid operations. And let's assume there is a network glitch right now. So why trying to perform this operation? Some might work, some might not work. Some operations might get carried out, while some might not get carried out due to some server failure. So how do we avoid this kind of problem? That's where the transaction module comes in. You understand? With this transaction module, what it does is this now. So it makes sure that all the operations are carried out. If any of the operation fails, it's going to revert every other operation. It's going to revert every other operations that was carried out. You understand? Let me explain again. So the transaction module, all it does is this now. It makes sure all operations are carried out. But if anyone fails, it reverts the other ones that were carried out. It reverts them back. You understand? So now we need to import this module now at the top. So we'll say from, where am I importing this now? Okay, I'll just say from Django .db. We're going to import transaction. I didn't spell that well. Transaction, yeah. Sorry. So now that's it then. So we'll come over here under, yeah, just instead of this our save block, we'll then say with transaction dot atomic. So now we're going to put all these other codes inside of this block, push inside. So now that's it now. Perfect. So now we want to go test our code and see if everything works. So since I'm having an error on line 3, go back to the top there. It will be called from Django .db. So let's go back now. I want to go test things for real and make sure everything works. So now to our browser, we're going to create a new cart now, and we are going to add some cart items to that cart, and then we are going to create our orders. So there's our cart. Created a new cart. So get this ID. I want to add some items to this cart and paste here. So I think the other field is called items. So I want to add some items. So you need to go watch the previous tutorials to understand what I'm doing. You need to go watch the previous episodes. So if you've watched them, you know what I'm doing. So I want to add up some products to this cart. So I'll just say 10. Let me just say 4. Sorry, 4, not 14. So click on post. Oh, it says must be. So I need to go get my product IDs are all UUID. That was a mistake. They're not meant to be UUIDs. So let me go get the product ID. So now let me get the ID of this pink bag. That was my bad. Oh, the IDs are annoying. The IDs are in the browser. So let me just get the ID from here. Sorry. Control C. That was I'm going to revert back to normal IDs because this ID is looking. It's going to take my time. So let's paste that here, and then we post. We're trying to add some items to our carts. So there must be a valid UID. That's what I did. Let's try again. Let's copy this. I think I copied the wrong thing. Copy this. Control C to the cart list now. Paste here, and then click on post. So right now we've been able to add a cart item to our carts. Let's increase this quantity to 5. Then post again. So it's 9. Okay, let's add one more cart. Let's add one more item to this cart. Let's get another product ID. Sorry, I should have used something more. I should have used an integer for my product ID, not a UID field. Now we have to come over here and start copying the ID from the URL. Control C, come over here. I'll replace this, paste here, and I'll just set this to 4 and then post. So right now our cart has what? Our cart has 2 products. Our cart has 2 cart items. So go down to, okay, this is our cart now. It has 2 cart items. These are the carts. You can see the items here. It has 2 cart items in it now. So right now we want to get the ID of these carts. This is the ID of the carts here. Just copy this now. Control C. We want to go create some other items. Instead, we want to create some orders and also other items alongside. We come over here now. We have these orders here, but we don't have any other item. There is no. Oh, we have some other items. How did we get this? Okay, I added them from the previous videos, but right now I'm going to delete them. Or I'll delete. Let me just delete. I'll delete these orders. Let me delete some orders. This payment status. I'm going to clear this. Let me delete this now. Delete. Okay, it's gone. I'm going to clear these other items. I want to make sure we don't have any other items in our database. I want to test something. So delete. So it's gone. So now to go back to your API route. Remember we've copied the cart ID. So come over here and paste that cart ID. Paste it here. And then click on posts. Everything works. Oh, we had an error. It says, can't even point out what the error is saying. Currently the error is pointing me to line 133, and that is my serializer.py file. Let's go check where this error is coming from. Line 123, that's it here. So what's the problem here? Okay, sorry, I forgot to add the parentheses. That's necessary. I forgot to add that. That's why the error popped up. So now let's just, so my server is trying to run again. Okay, so now I've added the parentheses already. I've added them. So now let's go and text again. Let's test again. Refresh this page. So now paste the cart ID. Remember the cart ID. Or let's be sure again of the cart ID. Come over here. Go down to your carts. Where is this, please? Click on, okay, click on this. Oh, I think I have the cart ID copied already, so why am I going back? I have it copied, so there's no need to be scared. Let's go back, paste it here, and then remember this cart has some cart items. I remember we are creating our order item based of these cart items. So click on post. Perfect. It will. I think everything works this time. To your browser, go down to your orders. Now we have this new order. Remember, we have this new order. Go down to your order items, and we have these other items. Remember, I added this purple shirt and pink bag. We have these 2 already. They have been created, and it was possible because of what we did here. Instead, everything is working now, so we've been able to create our orders and order items. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please, if you do, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you in the next episode. So thank you for watching. Bye bye and stay blessed.